Oh, I'm ABX Toycat and welcome back to another live stream on the internet. I backed up my Let's Play world before I recorded this one because I've learned from this past week that when it comes to, putting, going to the end and putting up any amount of risk there, you just don't want to do it. You can lose literally hours and hours and hours of work if a random Minecraft bug happens. So I'm taking out end insurance and I backed up my world because today I want to destroy my end a little bit more. If you don't know the kind of backstory of this one, I have just huge end islands that exist right near my main end because of weird generation, but it looks super strange and you're about to see why. And because of this, I want to destroy it. But first, let's go for a little bit of a nap and I can say hello in the meantime. Hi, welcome to the live stream, because this is, in fact, a live stream, as I'm recording it at least. I mean, every live stream you do on YouTube becomes a video afterwards, which is one of the cool benefits of, like, YouTube live streaming, like, it's a video and not just a live stream. Although it's more a live stream than a video. But I mean, I'm doing it for the live people, but you can watch them back, unlike on certain platforms, or at least there's reason to want to go watch them back. You know, I'm talking way too much about the behind things of YouTube, but it's something I find interesting, maybe you do too, and just in case you don't, hello, I'm IBX Toycat. Hope you have a wonderful Monday morning, Sunday evening. Guess it depends on where in the world you are, doesn't it? So anyway, today we're going into the end, we're going with my pickaxe, and we're going to be destroying the little outer edges, including where I actually spawn right now. Like you can see, this little island needs some definite doing, but over there is the one I'm mostly focusing on. Although actually, let's start here, because this is messy anyway. Let's make it better. Truth you, Heavy Moo, good to see you, Moo. You know, I somehow at some point in the last, like, year, attracted like an insane person to my live streams who sends the most bizarre and concerning, super chats. But you know, it's something I guess I appreciate. Also, good to see you, Lisbeth Shook. Hey yo, I'm not late this time. Guess the exchange rate changed because the minimum amount in dollars went down, so that's cool. How are you? If the minimum amount in dollars went down, it means I guess Streamlabs like adjusted their numbers, and I guess it means the exchange rate changed positively. So good news for you. Thank you, Kobe. Rip a legend. So it's kind of interesting to me because like, most of the time, okay, you know, well, we're gonna dive right into the controversial opinions, shall we? Okay. Most of the time when a celebrity dies, I want to be like, shut up, internet. Stop making this a thing. If you care about the celebrity, sure, go find a place for it. But just publicly on social media is the most, I don't know if disrespectful is the word, but like, non-useful thing you could do, right? But like in this case, it's like, oh man, even as someone who has no clue about basketball, I don't know what the NBA is, I don't know what a hoop is, I don't know how the scoring system works in basketball. It's a very American sport. It was invented like 100, you know, it's recent and it's American and it's like, you know, sports, which is not me. But even like as someone who doesn't know those things, it's crazy like, oh wow, that's like a real person who's like also fairly young that like, you know, like at the top of at the top of the game, not their game, but like who managed to like die, and it's like, whoa. I find that fact, you know, I think, you know, to be the guy who's like, I want to tell everyone about how much I care about celebrities, you know, bit of a weird thing to do, even as someone who you could argue like makes their living based on social presence. Kind of a weird thing on that way. But what's even weirder in my opinion is when like what I think is kind of wacky is like when someone like big does die, it's a reminder that like, you know what, there's no like special exemption to death just because you're rich or just because you're you. That, you know, like it comes for all of us, and that sounds terrifying on one level, but it's also just a reminder like, you know what, live time like it matters. Even you might think that there's some special protection that you get if you have a certain amount of money lying around, and that like, oh yeah, there's no point doing anything because you're not one of those people. But this is a reminder that like, nah, there are some things that you can make easier, but there's some, you know, factors in life, some cruel things that happen to all of us, and if they haven't happened to you yet, seize the opportunity, you know? That's my vague point from all of this. Also, nice to see you. My bearded dragon squares up every time he hears your voice. It's quite amusing. Good luck with your project. Thank you very much, Sarah Burke. Good to see you again. Also, Hunter Modelter says, oh, that's the same one. Been on a Toycat binge recently. Love the realms. Thank you. And thank you, Cat Girl. Good to see you here today. Mech Assassin. Remember when you were Rickrolled? Haha. Very funny. I loved it. It's the best. That wasn't a whole thing I had to deal with. But yeah, no, one of the things I find so weird is like, you don't, social media is where we go to post things that we think our social circles would like to see. And it's like, people around you don't need to hear the thing if they care. There are avenues they can find out that is not you and your Twitter feed or your, you know, your Instagram or your whatever else. And, you know, also that is a method that leads to lots and lots of, you know, like it's just a way of creating a sea of things that isn't useful to the people, you know, like the people you're reaching with that, you're reaching with the wrong message. You need to let people know about the importance of life, not the tragedy that is death. That's my thing. It's like, also feminine hands equals masculine feet. Can confirm. Do you want me to show you my feet, Audrey Ellis? But yeah, no. Every time a celebrity dies, I hate the rush to be like talk on social media about this and like every especially when like a celebrity does it, like, oh yeah, I want to talk about how important this person was to my life. Or, you know, it's like, no, that's not, like, this isn't a moment for you to be personable and for you to share your feelings. This is a moment of someone's death. This shouldn't be seen as a single moment to go on about how you feel about their death, because how you feel about their death is not as important as the fact that they have died. You know, and if it was, you know, like, there are events for that, and like, I guess as an internet we have to like do it as our own thing. But anyway, my thing. Also, why is Minecraft? Thank you very much, Austrian Bow 1. But anyway, with that said, he's never gonna run around and desert you. I do love Rick Astley's. I do love the Rickroll song, and I have loved it ever since like the early days of Rickrolling. It's wacky to me. Because maybe I shouldn't care so much about Rickrolling. Like, I have very little to say when it comes to like sports. Like, did you know people throw a ball around or kick it sometimes? And people find that super cool. Also, I found a cool video. Please watch it. Okay, the high quality. You know, as a general rule, I don't click links I don't think like watching videos as part of a stream, unless it's like a specific type of stream, is good for that. And I think what we do in these streams is like kind of fun, where it's like we're working on a Minecraft project at the same time we can talk about anything else. You know, we can be like, you know what? I have a cup filled with ice and strawberries. You might see it already. Let's take some Pepsi and let's pour it in there. Look at this is high quality Toy Cat stream content where I pour drinks. Oh jeez, do you see that giant, like? Can you see it? It's like one of those. How did that even get on there? Where did that come from? I'm quite. What are these things called? I know they've got a name. Do I get a wish now? I wish for an unlimited amount of Pepsi. Where's my high? This would be the best like product promotion ever. But what it actually is, in case you're curious, is I just Jeff bought way too many bottles of Pepsi Max for a party for New Year's. So I have loads of bottles lying around, and it's like, well, you know, I do enjoy it. I guess I should start working on drinking on it. So that's a whole thing. Let's start an existential crisis talk, how you can destroy your end in the sense, changing the way you'll die one day. I mean, if you think about it, right? Like, one of the greatest struggles in life is dealing with how you're gonna die. I feel like people get better and worse at this all the time. I cringe every time you get close to the edge, says Nostalgic Honey. You know what, Nostalgic Honey? You like this? You think this is good? You think, oh, yeah, you like this? You think... Okay, let's go forwards a bit. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. You guys have red plastic cups in the UK? Oh, I forgot to mention, I've got these red plastic cups too. We drink them in the UK as like an American thing. Like, they're sold at like Costco and stuff like that. Also, thank you, Moo. But they sell them at like Costco and whatnot. It's a very like it. But every time someone has them, everyone always references like, oh, what is this? An American party? Also, what's your favorite genre of music? Just as a side question. Thank you very much, Crazy Cooper. But I would say that I don't have a favorite genre of music. I'm not really a music person. Like, some people describe themselves as into music. I describe myself as like, I think music is like silly. I just listen to it.
To continue this quality.
I pay 20 American pennies for you to continue this quality. Okay, first of all, that's a lot more than 20 American pennies. That is the highest super chat we have seen today, in fact. So thank you very much, Mr. Almighty AJ. Second of all, you know, funny, maybe it's a joke about how the exchange rate's so bad, the Australian dollar. I don't know what Australians joke about. But third of all, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. We'll go today for like at least an hour, maybe an hour and a bit. I'm not really too sure. I was just like, I got home and I was like, I could stop streaming, or I could not. I mean, I could stop. I could stop doing things today.
Finished mining all of the end stone on my center island today. Took nearly 200 hours. I'll send you screenshots after I do the last 3 pillars. Your long streams helps a lot.
Oh, you like the long talks, do you? You think there's some fun in that? I'm glad it helps a lot of people have something to do while they do their Minecraft projects. It's kind of this beauty of like, I talk about these things while I mine the things, and then some people get to go through it. Also, I plan on visiting Kansas in the United States. Most boring state it could use a toy cat. Honestly, I intend to visit every American state. Kansas is one that's like, oh, I need to get there somehow. Something I've been thinking about, like I think about this so frequently, I'm doing the thing that I hate in other people, so I'm just gonna mention it very briefly, is like, I really, really hate when people just talk non-stop about how they're going to do something. It's like, just do the thing, you know? Just do the thing. That's a good life slogan, like, just do the thing, man. And, yeah, so I really wanna learn to drive. Just for the sake of, like, driving in America. I don't care about driving in the UK. I have nowhere I need to drive or want to drive. But, like, you know, it'd be cool to learn a skill. I'd have to spend a week doing it, of course. But, like, the only thing that stops me is it's, like, I have to take a week away from my life to learn to drive. Do you think about how insane that is sometimes? Like, to just, like, get behind the wheel of a car that, like, you know, we all know how to do it very roughly. Because I'm going to use it to drive a different country where it doesn't even matter what the rules are here. But anyway, to learn to drive, I have to give up a week of my life, non-stop week. Like, if you're talking about learning lessons, it's like 40 hours over the course of like a year or something. But like, no, yeah, I want to learn them all at once. It's like, I have to do this huge test, give someone some money. It's like, man, you ever think about how high the barriers are for entry on learning to drive? Like, probably excessively high too, right? Anyway, yeah, so I need to learn to drive to go to Kansas, and there's a lot of places in like the middle of America that I'd have to learn to drive for. And here's the worst bit. I want to drive in a different country, and I don't even want to drive. Like, the idea of driving sounds awful to me. Like, oh yeah, it's that thing where, by the way, look at all this straight glass. It's sad. But it's not a fun process, especially in America where there's so many just long stretches of highway. So I want to get like a self-driving Tesla or something, and then drive that. And then it's just like, well, you know, why is all of this a thing again? What's the risk-benefit analysis on this? And anyway, what I'm saying right here is I think learning to, people hate drivers anyway, so why do we all learn to drive? You know, maybe people would trust other drivers more if we didn't have to learn to drive. And that sounds entirely counterintuitive, but anyway. I've considered, like, I'm not going to do this, especially because, like, also, thank you so much, Sandermore, for becoming a cheap cat. But here you get your learner's plate first. To get them off, you have to do 120 hours of driving, 20 of which must be night hours. Who's keeping track of whether your hours are at night or not? Do you have to, like, have a logbook? You should come to Atlanta. We have a nice airport and pretty nature parks. I've been through Atlanta once. I'd love to actually visit Atlanta. Again, the airport comes up all the time in my hobby, as you can imagine. Wait, here to say, thanks for distracting me when I can't sleep, says Paige Crimp. Paige Crimp, nice name. You're welcome, Paige Crimp. I'm glad I distracted you.
The guy who tries to one-up you by mining an infinite overworld.
Yeah, the N miner guy is like, I love that as a thing though. Like, I love that the videos I make, I try to get like moderately in depth into a lot of different topics, because that's what I find interesting about Minecraft. And I hope that it helps people find their one bit of Minecraft, you know? Like, the longest project I've probably worked on, what would it be like? I don't know, covering the end or something? Or, I don't know, like maybe the amount of mining I've done. Like, I've mined hundreds of diamonds. I don't know what the longest individual project would be, but like, this world is 7 years of me doing lots of very different things. Or maybe doing the same things, you could argue. But, also, you might want to skip North Dakota. You know, someone does not like North Dakota, and you know what? You're entirely justified in that logic. But, yeah, basically, let's place this over here, just for safety. And then we'll place the endstone in it, because then we'll take some endstone back to the overworld, just in case that's important. But, yeah, something that, I think is weird, something that I think is cool, is that my videos are just a way for people to work out what they can dive deeper into, you know? Like, rather than replicating exactly what I'm doing, you can take what I'm doing and do it lighter, or you can take what I'm doing and make it the most serious thing in the world, you know? You can take anything to the extreme. And that's really cool, if you ask me. Yeah, I think one of the struggles in life, one of the biggest challenges we have as a human being, assuming you're a human being watching this, if you're like someone's bearded dragon, then one of the struggles we have as a bearded dragon is, you know, when do we get food? Is it daytime or is it evening? I don't even know. But the thing I think is the biggest struggle is like working out what we do with our time on the short scale. But even bigger is the struggle of what do we do with our time on the long scale? How do we work out what we're interested enough to do for the rest of our life? You know, you're like, what, 20 by the time? I think 18 actually in the UK. By the time you work out what you want your degree in, which is going to be the basis of your rest of your life. And there's people pressuring you to do it now. No one says, actually, try a few different things and then work out, you know, what you want to do forever then. It's like, no, you pick a thing, you spend a lot of money on it, so you're basically locked into doing it, and then you work out if it's your thing. And it's like, Jesus, that's a scary world we live in. But it is, in fact, the world we live in. Anyway, so let's keep on mining, I guess. I'm doing this really inefficiently because I'm trying to just, like, trim off the areas that are spawning Endermen. I hope they're not spawning Ender Dragons. Although there are clearly some parts of my world doing that. And I think the best thing to do is to trim around the top here. Yeah, that's my plan. I'm going to trim around the top. So I can make, like, a kind of pyramid up structure. That made no sense. You know, the internet doesn't make any sense either, though. But yeah, so I think one of the struggles we have is, like, what do you do with your life? And I think that's the existential thing for a lot of people that they don't know how to do. Cool beans. Thank you. Hello. I gotta do something I ended up hating. That's such a common thing, and you've got two options at that point. Work in a thing you hate forever, or lose the 3 years of your life you spent working on it. And that's ignoring the idea that, like, you can do something... That's ignoring the group of people who do something they love, but then it doesn't turn out to be, you know, a thing where people are willing to pay you to do a thing, despite the fact that the people who sell you the knowledge want to convince you that someone will totally pay you to do this for... You know, anyway, like, my point is that there's a real struggle in working out what to do with our time. And the fact that we can't do it on the short term says something interesting about the fact that we're expected to do it on the long term in any, like, cohesive way. But yeah, I don't know, like, my answer to that struggle, not that I know what the answer is, because I don't know what I'm doing, like, I can't even, like, commit to, like, oh yeah, I'd like to spend a week just learning to drive. The number of fun things that unlocks, but in exchange I have to do something I hate the idea of, because I think cars are such a dumb system of transport. I get why they're important in America. I get why they're important in China, rural China. I get why they're important in, like, Russia, America, and maybe, like, I don't know, Sweden or Norway or something. Like, I can see certain countries having real good uses for them because public transport doesn't work on that scale. Sure, you know, that's fine. That makes some amount of sense, I guess. I'm not even picking up most of the sense stuff. But I think it's a dumb system when you live in a even moderately populated area. But if you live in a densely populated area, it's just like, what if there was a less efficient, more expensive way to get somewhere slower that involved parking on both ends with a much higher fatality rate? Oh, and also, you know, just for funs and giggles and stuff. You know, gonna cut off my own thought to say, what your thoughts on the coronavirus? So, the coronavirus is the big new trend you'll see in the news. It's coming out of China, and it's pretty concerning right now, I'd say, in terms of the large scale of it. But there's this, like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be frank with my words here. There's something I like to call the idiot verse. There is there's a lot of people in the world who are really quite intelligent about their thoughts and use information to make decisions about things in their life and the world. Then there is a a much larger group of people that are like the things that keep the news media running. And basically, somehow, every single time there's any form of medical like issue in any country, people immediately get into like, well, we're all going to die as a result of this. Have you noticed how many times we haven't almost already died? Admittedly, all it takes is one black death. But even then,
now
it's
I
like...
shall leave. The public holiday calls me in Australia. Cat, tabby cat is yes.
Cat, tabby cat is yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Almighty AJ, for the 14 Australian dollars and 99 cents via Super Chats. Really appreciate you coming in and... What was that? 3 Super Chats today? Wow, what a wonderful fella popping in to do that. Pretty nasty stuff. They shouldn't be eating bats. Says subscribe and then a tick. But like the thing about the coronavirus is like it's not likely to be a big deal, especially if you live in a big country. If you live in the US or China, unless you live in China itself, and even if you live in China, like you've got bigger issues than this thing. Like the news manages to take every single story, leave out the key details that can immediately make you be like, oh, okay then. And then it spreads via social media with just the headline. And it's like, I hate this so much. Like, a man, so like, people with the coronavirus have flown to every corner of the world. I like the person you portray yourself to be. Thank you, Cat Gal. I like the person you portray yourself to be too. Or that I think you portray yourself to be. But, yeah, no, there's this real thing where like, people just take the headline and then run with it. They don't look at the details. They're just like, oh god, there is a bad thing happening. It's a thing so bad, I'm not willing to read the details, but I hear it's real bad. For actually, math. Thank you very much, Mr. Almighty AJ. The hero of the stream and the universe. But no, like, it's ridiculous to me, because coronavirus is like, going to kill some healthy number of people, I'm sure. But it's one of those risks that's way blown out of proportion because we don't know precisely how big the risk is yet. When we know exactly how big a risk is, even if it's a huge risk, we're like, oh, that's kind of fine. Like, okay, I'll admit, the media loves to sensationalize. The media loves to sensationalize because we as viewers love us, or, you know, by our numbers, love a sensationalized story. And that is something that needs to change, you know? Like, when you hear a story that is taking something out of context or sensationalizing it, your instinct needs to be, well, you know, news sucks. News is being real awful today. Not, well, you know what, this is one story. I'll wait till I read the next one again. I really think that there's use a haste 2 beacon. Look, I tried to get a haste 2 beacon and that's what caused the dragons to spawn. We're sticking to my old-fashioned methods, okay? We're sticking to the old-fashioned methods. They don't spawn dragons in my end. Thank you very much. No, I definitely should be using a beacon. Like, I'm wasting a lot of, like, effectiveness here. But it's the whole thing. But, yeah, people are afraid of what they don't know or understand. Yeah, it's, there's such a big fear of the unknown. Bigger than the fear of the known and the actually killing. Like, how many people will die a year to heart attack, diabetes, and weight-related things? But you don't think about it, so you don't weigh it into your decision-making. Whereas people are actually making slightly different decisions based on this coronavirus that right now has, like, you know, only a few hundred confirmed cases, because it might be the next pandemic. And I think we need to use that fear reflex in ourselves to do more productive things than, you know, gawk at Ebola. Because remember Ebola, by the way? Oh yeah, that killed everyone, didn't it? There's so many like illnesses on a regular basis, like Middle Eastern, no wait, like it's like African respiratory syndrome. That was a big thing too, but because it was in a like, you know, smaller recognized countries, like again the middle of Africa, you're like, not really an issue. There are always going to be health concerns. Something I actually thought about. You know, actually, can I terrify you more? I was just talking about how you shouldn't be terrified about this. You probably shouldn't be, but something I was considering is like the fact humans to some extent are just like the greatest thing about humans, or the thing that like the world sees about humans.
I've been listening to your live streams and let's plays for a while now, and I relate to what you say a lot. Stuff can
That
get
weird
really
pause
rough,
there.
so I'd just like to ask, how are you?
I'm doing really good, Plinku Plinku. Wait, is that Plinku? Pinku Plinku. Thank you so much for the £10 super chat. It means a lot to me. Like, any amount is always like, whoa, someone likes it that amount. But to see you pop in with that, it means a lot. I'm glad you enjoy the streams, Mr. Pinku Plinku. But I'm doing pretty good myself. I had like, I don't know. I had the like biggest like, I'd say like a YouTube level crisis. Like, everything is going down at a concerning rate. I feel like we've had like the worst week for releasing videos I've had in a very long time. And it kind of triggered like a, not an existential thing within me, but like a, it was, I don't know, like I guess you need to have destruction to have rebuilding. To rebuild, yeah, like, and basically I've decided that I need that with YouTube. We gotta rework some things on the on what we're doing here. And so I know I was just really bummed before I came to that conclusion. Like, it just felt like I was spending a lot of time each day and achieving negative results. Because on YouTube, it really is that way. Like, you release a video, and if YouTube doesn't determine it's good, it reduces the number of subscribers who will see future videos, which is, you know, terrifying as a creator. That not only if you don't release something that hits the algorithm right and hits your subscribers just right, it can hit things. So I guess I had like the worst day yesterday. But like I turned it around towards the end. Things felt a lot better. I was happy with myself before the end of the day. And today I've had a pretty good day. I played D&D for most of it. I started work on 2 little projects that I think people are going to enjoy. And I guess I'm just I don't know. It's one of those things where like anything. Do you like animations? I do, less than often. Something I've realized is anything that can make you happy can make you sad, but that's okay. As long as it doesn't make you sad significantly more than it makes you happy, those are the things you should cut from your life. That's why, you know, like, you know, enjoy whatever you want. Enjoy strawberries as often as you enjoy them. But if you get addicted to strawberries, then you should probably cut them out from your life. If getting strawberries feels normal and not having strawberries feels bad, maybe that's a sign that you shouldn't. Also, what's your tips for finishing Minecraft, killing the Ender Dragon as fast as possible? Feels like a chore against the Ender Dragon. Just start a Minecraft village, like get a trading thing going on, then get the Ender Pearls that way, and then everything else is pretty fast. The fast way to kill the Ender Dragon once you're in the end is probably just like, you know, bring a lot of armor and just brute force it. If you get an Elytra from the End Islands, it's fast, but it takes a long time to get there. And maybe your world crashes while you do so, so who knows for sure. But yeah, anything that can make you happy can make you sad. But that comes with the territory, right? Like, you just need to try and hope that... You need to try and make sure the things that make you happy, and if they make you sad, you work out why that is, and you try and correct that. You know, you do whatever it takes to make things better. And that's kind of like my YouTube. Like, when things are going well on YouTube, it's like a big booster. I don't know if it's my self-esteem or it's to my, like, the success part of my brain that just wants to live a nice life and enjoy whatever, you know, the things that I enjoy and sharing them on the internet. But, like, there is something about me that loves when a video does well, when the channel's doing well as a whole. And there's a part of me that's, like, distressed when the opposite is happening. But I think, even though I think that's, like, good, because it's what encourages you to do better. Also, Sandamore says, first time donating stream that was in general to channel. Hopefully I'll be able to continue paying the Toy Cat tax much longer. As, Toy Cat is yes. Thank you so much for becoming a Toy Cat taxpayer, Mr. Zandamore 1. It means a lot to me. I love this this little Toy Cat tax thing that's going on, because it's cool that people are like, yeah, I like the super long form content, so I'm down to, you know, to send in a thing to show my appreciation. It's really cool. Also, what if you explode one island with TNT? Honestly, maybe like you could make a mob grinder that makes it effective. But as best I understand it, the amount of time it takes you to get all the gunpowder would be longer than just mining the end anyway. So, I don't know. That's my kind of take on this. So, yeah, I guess I'm doing pretty good now. but that's because I'm working on, like, but here's the thing, like, if something can make you sad, it's a reminder that, like, something isn't going correct. That's the time when you evaluate, is this a thing I drop from my life? Or do you say, I'm gonna make this better, here's how? Because even being on the path to making something better, whether it's, I don't know, like, I don't know, whether it's like, you know, a thing you do, even like a relationship of some form, like, you know, you had a really big falling out with a friend, but when you're on the path to things getting better, things feel good then, even. Also, do you have a setting preference for tabletop RPGs? Setting in what sense of the word? Like, setting like where the table is or where the game is? Also, I prefer to think they're bribes, says Cat Girl. I do like the term bribe a lot more than tip. I feel like my genuine opinion is most tipping situations are bribes more than tips, because you're trying to get some preferential service. And I think this is no exception, because when you tip, you get to leave a message. That message can just be thank you very much. But then, you know, that message gets shown to a bunch of other people. That message can be a question like, what's your opinion about coronavirus, which is kind of like 3 times already. But yeah, it's a whole thing. Did Natal Healthcare help you with YouTube career, says Jeff Shannon. Do you mean nationalized healthcare? The thing I know for sure. Also, what's your opinion about the coronavirus? It's bad. I don't think it's a serious problem. I would say if you're going to China, if you're literally going to mainland China, you should be mildly, I'm gonna get a straw by the way. You should probably be mildly more cautious than normal. If you live anywhere else in the world, it's like you shouldn't even, it's on the list of things you should be thinking about. Coronavirus is so low down there in terms of what will make an impact on you. So yeah, what I think about it, I think it exists, probably. It definitely exists. And it is, you know, maybe a problem for someone somewhere, maybe. But like, it's a problem for a small province in China that has the potential to run much bigger, but so many things have the potential to go much bigger, including you, dear viewer. Predictions for the future of humans, favorite future tech. My favorite future tech that I'm looking forward to, consumerism-wise, is probably like VR. I think VR games are so cool. It's really fun to get into VR your first time, but it wears on you very quickly. But I like the idea of playing a game that counts as exercise, because I love eating food, but you can only eat so much food in a day. It's a tragedy. Love your videos. You make me happy, make me smile. You're welcome, Heartbreakers45. Is it Heratbreakers45? Sorry. 3 more turtles dead. You know what? Okay, we'll use a second straw, guys. I'm sorry. I forgot I only used 1. I've got red and blue. If I get a white... Oh, there's no white straws. I can make the Pepsi logo without straws. Hear about Corona in Australia? 1 case. Yeah, but you hear about this. The person flew there, like, a week ago before it was even recognized in China. Theoretically, it could spread widely, but probably not even. Would I miss any more eyeball licking? Hey, good to see you, Jamie Sigüenes. Hope you're having an excellent Sunday. Oh, it's Monday now. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy New Day. But, yeah, VR is really exciting to me as a new tech. VR is wildly exciting to me. As that's the biggest new consumer-facing tech I'm excited for. And the biggest new, like, technology I'd like to see in general that I think will exist in our lifetimes. Hopefully uploading consciousness onto some form of computer. Or having some scan of my consciousness that includes all of my memories. I would like to, like, die and then wake up in, like, 100 years. I would like to be part of the first generation to not die. Like, that would be pretty cool. I think, I don't know, I think that's, like, a real potential. Like, I don't know, there's a lot of things that would be much better if we lived much longer. So, potentially, being able to upload your consciousness and then do something with it now. But if not now, at least being able to store it so I can come back to life in 200 years when the tech's ready. You know how people like, well, I don't know if Walt Disney is frozen, but like people freeze themselves because they think one day we'll be able to bring people back from that state. I hope we'll get to like a digital version of that so I don't have to pay a ridiculous amount of money. Like I can just be like, here's $10,000, put me in a computer and bring me back later whenever you can. So yeah, I love that to happen. Cause I don't know, Black Mirror, where you like live in a computer for the rest of your life. I'm not actually so attached to the world being real because I don't think the world is real to begin with. I think the odds of this being not a simulation are statistically quite low. And if it is, I don't think I'm very excited versus if it's not. If this is a simulation, what changes, you know? All of the things that drive me in the world come from inside of me, not from outside of me. Or if they come from outside of me, they come from my near-term world, and they're based on what I like, you know? Like, if I care about what someone thinks about me, it's because I care about what I think about them. You know? You get me? Like, there's nothing in the world that being real or not real really affects. Also, Noya Sucks has any plans to do any more geography videos on the second channel? I've got one coming tomorrow, actually. Oh, I've got some good news for people who like my fourth channel, which, I mean, there's no one yet. I just uploaded a new video that'll be live just after the stream finishes. Wuhan virus is casually spreading around the globe, but never mind, the world isn't real. All I know is that someone gets the virus in my uni and dies. We get to all pass our classes. We're all waiting for the sacrificial lamb. I just really think that, like, it's spreading a lot and it's scary, but there are so many more horror stories than there are real stories. Oh, Jesus Christ. Whew. There's so many more horror stories than there is, like, reality to the current situation. That's all I know. That's all I know. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to be in a situation where, like, you can benefit from human tragedy. Like, I think we should all benefit. Okay, you know, I had an idea before this stream. Would it be cool? Because one of the things that people hate, I'm not like, I hate it. I hate it on a jealous level. I think people who hate it on a political level are people who hate it on a jealous level but haven't realized yet. But like, I think it's insane that some people just have rich family, or even family of any amount of money, that's just like, oh yeah, when they die, you'll just end up with a lot of money. That blows my mind. It's like, wait, really? There are people who can just, who, their financial plan can be wait until my dad or granddad dies, and then I will get a house, and then I don't need to worry. But like I hate that on a selfishness level. Like the reality is that parent had a child knowing they would give the money to them. It's them doing a nice thing rather than blowing the money, I guess. But anyway, so I hate that on some form of like jealousy level. And one of the things I was thinking about, because one of the suggestions is that instead of people being able to leave money to their kids, you know, a fair thing, you know, to make society fair, you would instead take the money from them and give it to society. You know, give it to society. In reality, it means tax it, give it to the taxpayer. But like, what if we gave it to everyone, right? Wouldn't it be interesting? Obviously, people tried to dodge it as many ways as they could, so this couldn't work. What would it be like if instead of, you know, like, oh yeah, money goes to government, blah, 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 some vague notion of services or whatever. What if that's how people buy their first houses here, because they're so damn expensive? Yeah, in the cities in Australia, I can imagine the prices of homes are insane. It's like, I know Sydney and Melbourne are particularly awful for house prices, like in the global context. But that's how a lot of cities work. Like, if you want to live in London, you buy a house outside of London and then hope that that house is enough for a tiny deposit on a house, and you have the income to borrow the money, or you don't forever. Anyway, let's not talk about houses. That's just something that annoys me. Is like, I can't believe some people are lucky enough, but you know, they're lucky enough. Like that, try not to hate on other people's luck is a good life rule. But the thing I was trying to say is like, here's an interesting thing, right? What if when like a billionaire died, their money was like equally distributed with everyone? Like, this is something I thought about a lot when I was a child. Like Bill Gates, if he wanted to, that was back when I was younger. It's probably changed the maths now. Could give every single human on the planet 10 $20, I think, when he dies. It's probably a lot more now. Like, okay, Jeff Bezos can give everyone on the planet $20 when he dies, if you spread the money that way. If you just include US citizens, which is a way smaller group of people, it'd be more like $400 and something. Wouldn't that be like cool? Like if a system of like, oh yeah, so the way it works is when you die, your money is liquidated and given back to the people. I think it's not a fair system in the slightest. I don't think we should do it. But I think about a world like that, and would we get hyped for people's death? Would people genuinely be like, can't wait for Bezos dies, need that $400? Living every day by the pro tips and fun facts Bible. That's totally what, if I ever research autobiography, the pro tips and fun fact Bible has to be the name. Also, good to see you, Raspberry Tea. I recognize you as one of the newer sponsors because with a name like that, you can't be forgotten. Also, good to see you, Charlotte Portson, on the live stream today. But yeah, but would your debt do the same? Yeah, the reality is like well, actually, you're not. Your debt right now, the way it works in the UK, it might be different in America. But the way it works right now is if you die and your debts are paid by your estate, and then after your estate is like, if there's any money left, that goes to everyone. You can't give your debts to people. Have all the international airports you've been to been in English and the native languages of that country? We'll be asking travel questions over the next few months, says Jessica Forsyth. Yeah, honestly, when I first started traveling internationally, I was expecting so much more of a pushback to my I only speak English. Like, I learned the language of so many places that I went, but it just...
Last stream for me until I'm out of the hospital. The Wi-Fi sucks there, but that's a different thing. What game other than Minecraft do, or would you play every day?
Minecraft! No, sorry to hear in the hospital, Jess Slimmer. So, real quickly, sucks to hear about that, especially the Wi-Fi problem. You know, being in the hospital, that's one problem. Like, but if you work a job or you have like a thing you got to do every day, being in the hospital is the best excuse to get out of that. I've always thought, okay, you know, sorry, I don't want to turn this into a thing about me, but you know what, I'm gonna narcissistically pull that off. I always think the one thing about this coronavirus I thought was cool, because I was wondering like, oh yeah, I'm going through China later this year, in March, in case you're curious. I'm going through Hong Kong in March, but then through China later on the year, I hope. Probably. Maybe not. I'm not going to book it yet. But anyway, I was thinking if I got coronavirus, I would get to, you know, I'd be in the hospital making YouTube videos. It'd probably be a boost for my career. I could sit in the hospital, browse Reddit all day, and, you know, I would be, like, making more money than I am by actually doing things that I care about. And I thought that was pretty cool. Also, flu kills people every year, no one notices. Coronavirus pops up and roundly seeks shelter like it's the end of the world. Yeah, the flu is one of the biggest killers. Same with heart disease, same with strokes, same with... there's a lot of things, right? Anyway, let me... One sec. I'm gonna Google real quick. Flu deaths every year. It's in the millions, I know that. Flu deaths 2019. So... Okay, just give me the flu deaths 2019 worldwide. So, about 500,000 people died from flu, and about 1 billion people got it. It's an epidemic. That's a death rate of like 0.05%. Jesus Christ. I'm scared of the flu now. I guess it's mostly old people who are like brittle. Thank God. Man, that's the thing behind every statistic too. Like, just if a large number of people get something, it's usually like a particular group that is targeted most. It's like, you know, if you go to Chicago, you won't be shot because you're not in a gang. I have to mention that every time. Anyway, yeah, yeah, half a million people died last year. No one thinks about the flu as a pandemic though. Everyone's like, it's the flu. It's fine. You know, I'll go. People will spread it all around the place without realizing it. And anyway, it's the human condition. You know, we're very short-sighted in a lot of ways. Anyway, so yeah, the thing about countries. Someone asked like how much of languages you learn. I want to clarify. I only learned like 20 words in every language. Like I learned 20 words and then try to learn like maybe a bunch of the basics of the language so I could read, and I would try and do that a lot. But in every major city of the countries I've been to, because I like major cities, at least for the most part, it just ended up happening that, like, it was easier to use English than it was to use the bits of the local language I knew. Like, only Spain, Russia, and Ukraine so far have been major exceptions to that. Some bits of China were a confusing mess, but even the airport and all the major infrastructure, I didn't have any problems in China because my language understanding. I had a problem in Spain once, and I had a problem in Ukraine. And that's like a single one in each country. And even then it was small problems. Like, I tried to go into a restaurant in Spain and ask if they were open, and somehow, despite being in central Madrid, they didn't speak any English at all. And it was like, my Spanish isn't enough to ask, are you open? Can I see a menu? I would like to eat here. You know, because I don't even know how to say non-awkward things. But yeah, basically, that's why I don't shake hands, to not get the flu. Yeah, smart move, Brandy Gonzalez channel. It's not actually, I wouldn't say. I think the... Again, people point to the downsides of the things they do and the benefits of the things they don't do. But, like, you know, there's a lot of downside to that too. We have treatment for the flu, but we don't have any for the coronavirus. Yeah, I think the flu is probably a bad comparison, but my point is that it's overblown. It's very overblown. If you were to say something to the entire internet, what would you say? Also, can you tell my brother Ace of Games he sucks at Rainbow Six? Ace of Games, you suck at Rainbow Six. If I'd say something to the entire internet, obviously subscribe to IBX Toy Count on YouTube. No, I wouldn't say, actually, okay, you know, if I could say something to the entire internet, I should obviously say something useful, like, hey, don't do it, man. That thing you're thinking of doing right now? No, wait, if I could say something to the entire internet and they didn't know it was from me, I'd be like, I've seen your history, man. You gotta stop. That'd probably save a lot of people from the rabbit holes they're diving down. Realistically, if I was given the opportunity, I'd promote my channel, but I wouldn't say go subscribe to IBX Toy Cat. That's not good marketing. I'd be like, you hear about that communist guy on YouTube? He just posted a video where he ends racism using one command block or something. And I'd have to make a video that sounds wacky enough that the whole internet should hear about it. And then that'd be a thing. Also, Google translates your friends. Open equals a Bieto. Oh yeah, I have a, really recently, when I was in Thailand, I spoke to a Thai girl who, her grasp of English was like enough. Wait, here's a funny thing. Every time I speak to someone in a foreign language, even if they're pretty good at English, they say slow down. But if they're not good at English, they're like, they just look at me like a deer in headlights. Like, I speak way too fast English, as I'm sure you all know. But yeah, so I spoke to a Thai lady, and like she was like an incredibly smart one too. Like she was a university prep. It was a whole thing, and we just had a whole conversation using the Google Translate thing. Like it's a surprise. Nowadays, racism is over. We ended it, boys. We ended it. But yeah, my friend's cat was hit by a car yesterday, says Wolfie Blocks XT. I am sad for your friend's cat. And for the car, because, you know, it's probably going to leave a dent in that or something. I'm a bad person. So, yeah, realistically, these days, like, those small minor issues that I had, it's just like, oh yeah, Google Translate, fix. Like, trying to find my hotel was a whole mess in Ukraine, because it wasn't a real hotel. They lied about the location. Do you watch any anime? If you do, what's your favorite? My favorite anime... I don't actually watch any anime specifically, sorry. I really want to get into some, like I heard about the one where the food's so good, the guy tears off his clothes because he enjoys it a lot. And there's another one I heard about recently where I was like, I should watch that, but I never would. I watched One Punch Man, but I didn't like it. Like, the whole internet hypes it up so much. Like, get this! He defeats every enemy in one punch, and it's funny because you don't expect it. But I was like, how are you not expecting this? How is this not the thing you expect to happen? I'm concerned for your health if you're not predicting this whole thing. Also, someone said Thai women and a fire emoji. I think realistically speaking, every race has. Oh, is this gonna go questionable places? Every country has their fair share of like women. Like I think we think that attractive women are way rarer than they are. I think every country has like 1% of the population that is just like 10 out of 10 wildly attractive. And you probably think about the countries that have huge populations more than you think about the countries that you're exposed to more as being like, wow, they must all be attractive there. The only countries that I look at and actually see everyone being super attractive is like, I don't know, maybe like Sweden is the closest. Even then, it's like, there are some ugly people in Sweden too. Like that, the only thing that's actually impressive is when you get a population that is genuinely above, when everyone looks like your conventional model of attractive. And even then, I think the reason that people look at Sweden and say they're attractive is because the Swedish ancestry is probably more likely linked to, if you're white in America, or if you're European in America, the more Swedish, or the more Scandinavian you are, I imagine leads to the more attractive you are. That's my highest end guess. Anyway, yeah, that's also, I really liked One Punch Man. I think One Punch Man does a good job of having an overpowered character without being boring or predictable. Yeah, maybe like, if you like superhero stuff, maybe it's good, like, because he's like a hero or something. I don't know, like, maybe it's like a good subversion of expectations to someone. But I was just like, this just isn't for me. I really like Death Note, but that's because I like the concept, not because it's a anime. Strip mining livestream, but he eats a Bean Boozled for every diamond he finds. That's a fun idea. Let's do that. Rose red, violet blue, let's hold hands and get the flu. That is beautiful, my friend. That is beautiful. I'm not overweight, but I have a fat face, and it's a massive inhibitor in relationships, and it sucks. There are people who love everything. This is my brief reminder to you that, really, this is everyone watching. I feel like the number of... I used to think when I was, like, even, like, into my teenage years, women who were, like, not self-confident were, like, that was their angle, right? Also watched Steins Gate for depression. I watched a little bit of Steins Gate. It's a very confusing show. So I watched the first episode and I was confused, so I just read the plot summary for the rest. Which is the best way to watch any TV show, I know. But yeah, right, when I was younger, it just didn't... It's like, if you look at someone and they are obviously attractive and they pretend they don't see it, I was like, what's the deal of this? And then you realize that, like, one of the biggest drivers in what makes someone appealing is how your personality gels with them, how well how much you share as people. Because even people who think they're entirely based on looks and stuff aren't. And then you realize that, like, oh yeah, as long as you're, like, not irredeemably broken, which statistically speaking you aren't, you'll find someone who really enjoys that. And I think, honestly, because I realized really early on that, like, what I like is, like, I like effort in... I like when someone cares about... I like... The thing... I'm sure this is, like, some conditioning of, like, Maslow and the dog or whatever. But, like, if someone puts a lot of effort into looking good for me, I generally think, like, they look good because they put effort into looking good. They care about me so much that they put the effort into that. Because that's the thing I like. I like if someone likes me. But, like, there's so many variables like that, like, that are complex and undescribable for people who don't know their own psychology. That's like, you know what? Again, as long as you're not vehemently broken, as long as you aren't, again, there's like 1% of people that's like, well, you know what? You're going to have some struggles. You have to find someone who's specifically into that downside as an upside. But for most people, it's just like, oh yeah, someone will love you no matter what. And that's nice. Maybe that makes you feel better as a person. Maybe it doesn't. Also, yep, high quality super chat moo. Sup, Toy Cat? Good to see you, Haunted. A relationship with someone that pretends they don't see they're attractive ends of you telling them they are a lot. Yeah, I remember there was someone in, like, I just used to think that's the whole goal. Like, people, if you say you're not attractive, wait. Can we test this right now? Chat, I just feel so ugly today. I just feel like I'm not very attractive. Like, everything about, like, I look really bad today. I don't feel good. Can you give me compliments today? You have a crush on Lady Agnes, don't you? I have the biggest crush on Lady Agnes. It's not even a hidden thing. Row, row, row your boat gently like the stream. I like that. Row, row, row your boat gently like the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Hit the bell on your way down, because it's like a dream. Okay, we got a single person, but you're a super cutie. You're right. Aw. No, you're hot. Yes, you are ugly. Yeet, Lamau, you're not. Oh, there we go. It's all come in. You better feel ugly. You are so sexy. Well, good for you. You're so right. You're very sexy, daddy. You're not ugly. Nice try, toy cat. See, but like, because I think, like, it is just a true fact that if you're a beautiful woman. Thank you. It is just a true fact. If you say you're not attractive, people will tell you it a lot if they think it. Whereas if you think you're attractive, no one will tell you. And to me, I assumed, like, it's a smart game. Most women aren't doing this, but I just assumed in my head because I love the game theory and everything. If you are attractive, you've got two options. If you tell everyone you're attractive, they'll think you're full of yourself. Or at the very least, they'll be like, oh, she knows, and they won't tell her. But if you tell people you're not attractive, people will tell you they think you are if they do. And you'll be like, haha, I know your attraction level to me. And you can use that. You're a strong and beautiful Asian American woman. I am not American, Alina Khan. That's deeply offensive. I would like an apology to my people. What town in Idaho are you traveling to next month, says Minecraft Molly. I might be switching it up to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Because, oh, one sec. I might be traveling to New Mexico instead. I'm not sure yet. I've got to, like, book it still. American flights make me die in the insides when I look at their prices. It's like, how is this? Why are you charging this much? What did I do to hurt you so much? But, yeah, I assume people were just running the smart game theory. I think there's a really good life rule. I forget where this comes from. I could probably Google it and find out. But it's like, never attribute to malice what can be attributed to stupidity. Most people aren't super vicious killing monsters. Most people are just not thinking very much about anything.
You saying
like the
ugly is
coronavirus thing.
Bolshevik. Eyes.
Hey, thank you very much, Haunted Zombie. Good to see you again. Hope all is well in the Haunted Zombie side of the UK. I don't know what Bolshevik. Is it a joke about Bolshevik? Because, like, communist? I want to get it. I don't quite get it. But thank you very much anyway. You're an attractive New Zealand sheep. Thank you. Thank you very much, friendo. By the way, I feel like the more we mine, the less progress we make. It's like, it's almost like the reverse of the opposite. Please don't die on us. I'll try not to. I did that fear in a girl and she turned out to be ugly AF. But no, yeah, it's just a thing, right? Like, people don't have most people, I would say, like, some teenagers come up with extremely complex plans to, like, mess you up. Most people don't care about you very much enough to, like, come up with deep ways to trick you and stuff like that. Most people don't care about many things that much. They just make... Oh, I lost another torch. They just make stupid decisions. And that's that, you know? And once you learn that, everything gets a lot more chill. Because it's just like, yep. Okay, then. There are just some people that do some things. Also, Super Chat text-to-speech eyes. American Airlines have a lot of securities they require, and you're coming from across the pond. No, I mean, like, for Americans flying...
Trays gay, my Sozzy Trays bow.
Anyway, so, what I meant is that, airlines in America, for Americans flying within America to somewhere else in America, are wildly expensive compared to European airlines flying from Europe, even to like the Middle East or to North Africa, or even to the East Coast of America, are cheaper often than flying from West Coast America to, you know, middle of America, or West Coast America to another place in West Coast America. And I just don't understand, like, how or why, besides people will pay it, so why not charge them those prices? Like, it's a weird thing, but it's a thing, I guess. Anyway, so, basically, basically I'm flying somewhere in America. It's wildly expensive because even like budget airlines are like, you know, we've got this really good deal. Instead of paying $200, you can pay $140. And it's like, how is there no one being like, hey, you know, what if we just charge less? Because I know there's a lot of things like US airports, high landing fees because they're government owned and blah 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 blah. But also it's just I don't know, it's crazy to me. Like, flying within America is some of the most expensive flying in the world, and it just seems silly. It just seems a bit silly. And that's why so many Americans don't travel, right? Like, with airline prices like that, how are you going to see anywhere in your own country without going on a huge road trip? Go to Yellowstone National Park and Grand Teton National Park. They share a border, so you can drive from one to the other. Also, Jackson Hole, Wyoming is close. Also, fun town. Also, wait, that was the wrong one. Also, thank you very much, by the way, Yellowstone. Yeah, it's a place where I want to go. Again, I need to learn to drive to go to a lot of the places you're mentioning. You, like, go somewhere in the middle of nowhere that isn't connected by public transport to anywhere else. And it's like, I want to, Elizabeth. Don't you understand? Anyway, it's a whole thing. You can fly to London for $450 and Alaska for $800 from where I am. Right, it's like, it's an internal American flight. It's very confusing. Hawaii is another one. Like, Hawaii is a part of America. Admittedly, it's 3 hours away. But it's like, what if we charge you more than going to literally anywhere in Europe? Also, opinions on Wigan. Wigan is meant to be a city. I've heard of Wigan because I think I collected football cards when I was younger, and maybe Wigan has a big un. Wigan has a big un. I am hilarious. I am a poet who was not aware of it. Anyway, but the other one, Floppy Divitor, says the worst thing about getting a wisdom tooth pulled is you're not allowed to use a straw for a while. See, not using a straw for a while, that's a deal breaker to me. Like, you know, I go right back and say, you know, there's clearly been a mistake. Let's renegotiate this one. Whatever led to me, you know, not being able to use straws, we're gonna fix that up right now, Mr. Dentist Man. But yeah, have you ever thought about going to Connecticut? I've been through Connecticut, Mr. Kaiklat. Now you know. A flight from Dallas to San Antonio is so expensive, my dad just flies into Dallas instead of making the connection, he rents a car. Yeah, that's, like, I've heard a lot of people in Texas can do that. Like, that's a thing I do in Europe all the time. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. Maybe I have, actually. I fly from, like, Scandinavian airports because they're cheaper to get where I want to go. Like, when I'm flying to Hong Kong, which I said I'm doing, it saved me, like, literally 50% of my ticket to fly to Denmark first, each way, and then to fly to Denmark, which takes an hour and a half, and then to fly back to Denmark when I'm done, like, another hour and a half. That saves me half the price of my ticket to China, which is pretty good, because you know what? Things are... Even though things are cheap from London, they're even cheaper from certain European airports. But no, yeah, there's this crazy thing where it's like, America is so hard to see for Americans. Like, ignoring the fact that you have no time off work, it's like, there's no public transit option. You know, like, flights are insanely expensive. There's no particularly good public transit option. So you just have to rent a car. Oh, you probably own a car. You just have to drive a car all the way across the country. And it's like, is that really the most efficient method to... Like, I think encouraging people to see more of their own country is a really good thing for you. Because, you know, so many people just hate Texas because, like, ooh, it's Texas. Like, you know, you hear about the gun thing. Some people just hate California because, like, ooh, California. I heard plastic straws are banned there, which, you know, actually, that's a good reason to hate a place. It's not true, though. Plastic straws in California, you just have to ask for, apparently. I looked up the law. recently. But like, so many like rumors and myths spread about these places. It'd be much better if you could just go there, and if you could like sustain a relationship or something with someone there. In the same way that like, I don't know, Europe is very well connected by flight. Like, the EU is better connected together, despite being literally 28 different countries, 27 different countries in a few days, than America is, despite being one country. I'll drive you low. I've driven around that part of the country. Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. So much that I'm practically a local. You know what? You gotta hit me up, and we can make that happen. A lot of kind of strangers have offered to drive me, but it's like for a long road trip. Like, I think a short road trip's a really cool, like, drive to the airport, such a cool thing for someone to do. Like, I've met subscribers or people who know me some way via that. You know, made friends via something like that. But doing, like, a 12-hour cross-country road trip with someone, it's something you can't commit to. You get what I'm saying, right? Like, whenever you meet someone, you have, like, outs. You don't have an out when you're trapped in someone's car in the middle of Wyoming. Zoe Nelson? You're also wait.
Newbie
What?
symbol.
What are all those?
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol.
Newbie?
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol.
Nudie symbol?
Newbie symbol. 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 Newbie symbol.
When are they running out?
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie
What does that even mean?
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol.
I'm gonna
Newbie
die.
Symbol. Newbie symbol.
I
You're
think I'm-
awesome
I
and
think
you
I'm
inspire
trapped.
many. Keep being you and making videos. I know I won't ever get tired of them.
Thank you so much, Zoe Nelson. And also we get this again.
Toy cat n'est pas d'accord avec français gay.
Did you just français gay is the only part of that I understood. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. You know, that's the hit new song that's gonna be driving the thing. Anyway, Japanese symbol for beginner. Is that what that is? Why do they need a symbol just for beginner? That whatever. Anyway, thank you so much, Aiden H, for the 1.99 tip. But yeah, what I just wanted to say is like people don't realize it because we don't codify it in 20. Like, one of the things I love about humans, well, I kind of hate it, but like, it's fascinating once you realize it, is we live our lives by a bunch of unwritten rules. It's called like, if something's unwritten but it's true, it's what's the word, like de facto? And if something's written, even if it's maybe not true, it's like de jure. Like, we have written rules that don't mean anything, and we have unwritten rules that mean everything. And one of the kind of unwritten rules that is interesting, because I've met a lot of strangers, not a single one of them has killed me yet, or given me coronavirus, get that. But a thing I've learned from my meetings is like, every single one of them, you always plan some form of out. You need to have some option of like, this isn't, for whatever reason, you know, even if it's just like, you know what, this is why first dates, you know, first dates, you never say, hey, for our first date, do you want to buy some flights to Mexico together? No, you say, do you want to go to a public place where there's lots of other people, even if we're not going to be seeing them? And do you want to meet for some unspecified amount of time? We have a start time for when this meeting begins. We don't have an end time. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, we have that like codified into our unwritten social constitution. And I love that as like you don't think about it, but we all know it's true. And it's kind of cool that we have like so many efficient things now. Like, you know, on the one hand, it's like a lack of trust, but it's like a trust that we all share these same things. I'm sometimes scared to travel alone as a woman. I would say 99% of the world, no wait, I'd say all of the countries you probably want to go to, you probably shouldn't be scared about. I generally think like it sucks because, you know, people like to talk about how something, you know, the world's super broken and something, you know, like women roles, etc. But the biggest problem facing, like, you know, women as a gender, as one of the number of genders that exists. The biggest challenge is that some countries are not like oppressive in the sense that like, oh, it's so oppressive, but oppressive in the sense that like there are rules that literally are there to ensure that if someone does something bad to you, you get in trouble for telling people about it. Those are the countries where it's like, you wouldn't recommend traveling them to them just yet. I kind of hate that because like as a guy, it's like there are I'd say like North Korea, and then certain wildly dangerous countries are like off my radar as even options. But Syria maybe, like, you know, Yemen, etc. Sure, I can't go to those places. Venezuela, I can't go to. But like it sucks that close one, Toy Cat. Yeah, that was, you see that was Toy Cat almost getting murdered by the internet. We dodged it. By the skin of our teeth. But we made it, guys. We made it. I'm alive. But like yeah, I can't imagine being of a gender where just half the planet was like, so you're a subhuman, and hope that's okay. Because you know what? You know, calling women like half of a human being, super unfair. They're at least 2/3 to 3/4 of a human being. Like, I think it's messed up when we don't admit that. Anyway, yeah, there we go. That's a comment if I ever run for political office that can ruin everything I say. Because people will be like, Toy Cat thinks that, you know, women aren't real people. And you know, I don't think women are real people. Kind of related to the road trip thing, where you're listening to you for odd hours, but then you're not used to Ruth being with us for any significant amount of time. You know, you've had your opportunity to. This is actually interesting. You kind of did meet me for a first time, and you kind of did decide not to dispose of my. You did just, you know, you could have gone out. The cool thing about if this is your first live stream, even if it's not, you know, it's cool anyway. But when you first join a live stream, you have the ability to back out. Thank you so much, thank you. I have no idea what you're saying. Oh wait, Toy Cat is stupid and he says something good. I actually know a surprising amount of French for someone who like didn't really study French. Like avec is with, and there's a few things. Anyway, sometimes we're 1 1/4 of human beings because babies. I'd say a baby's like half a human being, right? I'd say that's fair. Like everyone agrees on this same basic level. Women produce human beings. Somehow women grow human beings in their stomach. I grow like, you know, digested strawberry. These strawberries are so gross now. Can I show you them, by the way? Sorry, I'm gonna go way off topic, but it's good because I was gonna offend like 50% of the viewers otherwise. Okay, let me just show you. Oh, let me show you this strawberry. It's so gross now, because like it was like a. One sec. I'm trying to. I don't want to pick it up with my fingers. Okay, let me show you how gross this strawberry looks at this point. It's a heart shape almost. Oh, that's cute. Let's eat the heart shaped strawberry. Oh, actually, before we go, oh no, we got the newbie symbol coming back. No. How do I make? Can I make this go away?
Newbie symbol.
I can't. It stays there.
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol.
No.
Newbie symbol.
I disagree.
Newbie symbol. Newbie
I
symbol.
disagree.
Newbie symbol.
Can I stop this?
Newbie symbol. Newbie symbol.
Hey, I can. Checkmate, Zoe Nelson. No newbie symbols for me today. Oh, I found a bun. I just found the coolest bun. I can make them go away. Look, I can bring it back. Look. Oh, but this time it just says the money. Interesting. Huh. I've worked out a solution. Oh, I've learned some new things I can do. There's loads of buttons in my Streamlabs I've just discovered for the first time. Oh, I can pop it out even. Oh, I can. Okay, anyway, sorry, I'm getting way distracted by things. Hopefully you enjoyed today's live stream. If you did, then you can. Oh wait, no, I wanted to tell you a thing. I had a really dumb idea for a live stream.
Brew, I gave you $30 of which was in French. At least say merci, Brew.
First of all, merci brew. I think it's merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, Pinky Blinker. You are the super chatty man of the... Oh, whatever. French accent. No, I said thank you for your first one, and then you started putting in French. And, like, you know... I assumed you weren't French. Like, I can, you know, shitpost all day in Spanish if we want. Like, ¿qué? ¿Qué? ¿Sí? Jalapeno. See, I can speak Mexican. Sorry, I don't wanna brag or anything. And I had an idea for a live stream because obviously I still have my sexy spoon costume I need to wear for a live stream. So let's do that sometime. Wait, next week, next Sunday evening or morning, one of the, you know, really easy to come check by. Like next Sunday sometime. I'm going to wear my spoon, and I'm going to wear that. But I had an idea for a live stream chat. I want to hear your ideas on this. When someone demands a thank you. Yeah, my thank you is never going to be like... It's going to be this awkward mix of like, I feel bad and I want to thank you, but also a non-sincere thank you. Anyway, I had an idea for a live stream. This is a second channel one, so like, you know, 80% of you might not care. But hear me out on this, right? A live stream where we go on a Google Maps road trip together. Like we go on a road trip, like from a place to another place, all via Google Maps. Like see every little journey along the way. Because I think that's a cool idea. Anyway, yeah, next Sunday. Let me know what you think about that. And then also next Sunday, I'll be a sexy spoon if you want me to be. Toy Cat mining the end when I'm a spoon instead. But yeah, by the way, just another little fun thing. I don't just have these two parts of my end that I need to destroy. I also have this island I need to work on. There's a lot of like stuff going on. Okay, it's a whole thing we're working on. But we are working on it. It is going places. And that is a good thing. Anyway, it's a good idea. Yes, yes, yes. Sounds epic. Love
Okay,
that.
I give up for now, but I'll be back in another stream greater than the Japanese symbol for beginner. Newbie symbol. Will not be forgotten.
Thank you so much, Zoe Nelson, for the $10 super chat. You know, I'm going to mention this just in case this is your first live stream. I feel like a monster, but I want to mention it because some people, like, they feel bad if they learn it after the fact. If you want to give on any amount of basis, you know, it is a tip. It's entirely optional. If you never want to give again, that's cool too. I hope you enjoy the live streams. But if you do want to ever give any amount of money, the best link to use is down in the description. Streamlabs.com. What is it? Streamlabs.com/toycat or IBXtoycat? Let's find out right now, actually. If you go to that link down below, I'm going to find it right now. Wait, should we watch our own stream again? People love when I do this. I mean, I love when I do this, and people hate when I do this. And people love that they hate that I do this. Thank you, Elizabeth Shook. I had a British substitute teacher that was in our school district. Had him first when I was 11 and learned his name was Mr. French, even though I thought that was hilarious. Oh, I knew a guy who called Mr. French when I was younger. Like, he was like the most morbidly obese guy I'd ever met at age 10. Like, I didn't know you could get that big age 10. I'm going to check if he's large. No, I'm not going to do it on stream just in case I doxed him. But thank you, Fluffy Tutor. Je plaise, le français, a fleur de l'espagnol, et l'école pour cette raison. Okay, so there you go. I read it out in French now. So let's watch our own stream back. So if you go to streamlabs.com/toycat and you use the link there, like Mr. Frenchman did, and like Mr. Immortal Tyrant didn't, although thank you, but like in the live stream I did. If you go to this link, YouTube doesn't take 30%. But if you want YouTube to take 30%, then use YouTube, because that's, yeah. Like, you know, you might think that YouTube does a great job and they deserve some money from you. That's cool. You know what? It doesn't matter to me. You give money to who you like. I prefer when I take all your money because I'm a filthy capitalist pig like that. But you don't have to, and that's the wonderful thing about the internet. People love that I love that you hate that I do this, as Euphoric Mind. Exactly. I'm glad you get it. I'm glad you understand perfectly. Anyway, so I knew a math teacher named Mr. English. Man, I'm glad my last name, Toy Cat, in case you're curious, is not a subject. Because then I could never be another type of teacher. Susan doesn't steal your money. Susan steals my money. It's a tragedy, okay? But yeah, I'm glad you like my stream idea. I use YouTube for Google Rewards balance. Oh, that's why it was such a random amount earlier today, Cat. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense. But, anyway, I hope you all enjoyed today's thing. I don't know what this was, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless. Because I'm leaving you now. Maybe I'll never come back. Oh, I went around, just as the coronavirus got big, just as it was confirmed it came to the UK, I went around the London Underground, which is famously like Jeremy, because you're touching all the public things. I went around the London Underground. I went around a lot of it too. I spent like 6 hours underground. So I might have coronavirus, and I might die tomorrow. So if I die tomorrow, then I won't be a sexy spoon. Wait, if I die tomorrow, you can hold me to this. If I start dying and I post vlogs of me in the hospital, I will get someone to deliver the sexy spoon costume, and I will be a sexy spoon in the hospital, and I'll live stream for 10 minutes, and you can all give me your condolences, and hopefully your money, because I like that. You know, I've been going to Nando's recently. It's been wonderful. That's what your chicken money has been buying. It's pretty good chicken, actually. Everyone always makes fun of it, so I thought it'd be, like, average or below average. But, you know, it's good enough. It fits that perfect category of cheap and pretty good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for giving me money from...
money from my mom's
I know it's a
debit
joke.
card.
I know
Your
it's a joke, but it
content
hurts.
Makes me whole. Take my toy cat tax.
I am glad I make you whole. You make me a part, and that is fine. Thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna bounce now. Hey!
I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jessica Slimmer. Have a wonderful stay in the hospital. I hope you don't have coronavirus. And if you do, I hope you wear a sexy spoon costume before you die. But yeah, I am looking forward to Camboy Spoons for Tips. Okay, next live stream, Camboy Spoons for Tips. If anyone has a disagreement with that as a, if anyone has a disagreement with that as a thing, then let me know. Remember when you were rickrolled? Haha! Also, finally, Landmilk, was it less crowded? No difference here. Less crowded on the underground? Or in Nando's? I'm assuming you mean the underground. No, it was way more crowded than normal for a Friday. Like, it must be like a bank holiday or something. Anyway, you know, I'm making a whole video from it. Oh, I need to send that video. You know, anyway, I've got things to do. You've got things to do. And I've got a drink to drink. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you all when I spoon for your tips. Goodbye.